and everything else you need related to actually processing a transaction. We've got lenders, financing available. We've got the wholesaling operations for dispositioning properties. It's everything you would need to get started. But we're not going to lock you in and say you have to do it these ways. Like this is how we found success after many years of many trial and error. But if you like doing things a little differently and you find success with it, go for it. Just don't do anything that's unethical or illegal.
Welcome back to the Home Guys show with James and Jaden. Welcome, Jaden.
Hey, good to see you.
Yeah, great to see you, man. I actually have a short sleeve shirt on. Summer is finally is actually
Wow.
approaching. So we have the boats in the water, and we're gonna start. It's summertime. Bring it on. So
Enjoy it while it lasts.
yeah, right. Talk a little bit of our weekend review. I was gone at a investor fuel meetup. Jaden, sometimes you like to go to them. You kind of like to try to go typically in the wintertime. Actually, I don't even know. Maybe it's not even a wintertime issue.
I
Just
go to
like
the
try
Dallas one, whenever that one is. I try to go to that one.
Yeah, well, that was the one we were just at, buddy. So
Yeah, right. That's the one. And also the Scottsdale one. I frequently go to that one.
right. Well, we were supposed to have Paul with us, our dispositions guy, and unfortunately, he has 5 kids. And when he gets sick, obviously the kids are sick, and then grandmas both were sick. So he got better right the day before, but he couldn't leave because no one could take care of the kids because all the other adults are sick. It is what it is. So he went with us. I thought it would be a good time for him to get out there and kind of see what this. Again, we talk about on our podcast before that getting yourself involved in a mastermind, right? And this is our mastermind that we're involved with. Like I said, Jen, I typically go every one. Oh, I forgot to tell you, Jen actually got to present, and she did an amazing job. And you know, what's really cool, Jaden, is seeing her grow in that spot. She's just grown. I mean, she's excited to wake up in the morning, and I say
Yeah, she's
wake
taking a
up
lot on
because
her plate for sure.
right. I say wake up because sometimes she doesn't necessarily drive in. Sometimes she just like Scooby's over to the other room and starts her day right with on her robe and everything. But she doesn't always commute always to the office. Let's put it that way. And you guys all seen our office by now. So
A bit of a drive, so that's saving her a lot of time.
oh yeah, for sure. But I love seeing that she's taking ownership. Actually, with our new format and everything, I love everybody's really taken to the new format.
Yeah, for sure.
Sounds like so our dispositions guy, Paul, we are just talking about him. He runs Homes for Less, and he's grabbing our VA, which is out of Mexico, and they're just doing crazy things already.
I wouldn't use the term VA because VA kind of means a certain thing to certain people. We've had
Uh,
VAs before too.
Fair enough. This person
Yeah,
is so stinking awesome.
this is something new that we're doing where we actually have a full-time on-staff team member that lives in Mexico. So I don't know how you say that shorter than that, but I wouldn't call it VA.
Yeah,
That's it.
I think that's fair because honestly, I feel like these guys. There's 2 of them. One's Milton and one's Maria. And actually, I wanted to talk to you about. We'd like to get a smart board that goes back and forth when we're doing the Monday morning meetings. You're now can see more things when you're joining these meetings. Now they can join the meetings and see everything. And then I will tell you, in the month of February, I'm trying my goal and you already know this, but I'll tell everybody else is to not be in Minnesota in the month of February. So whatever it takes, I need to be able to talk to the team at whatever time. I think it could be a really good educational thing too for our team, for our Knoxville guys, anybody who ever wants to join. We can use that format. I think it'd be pretty neat.
Cool.
So we're gonna look in the pricing of that. I don't know if you have any ideas.
Not really. The smart boards I like are just whiteboards that have a camera looking at them. That's the smart boards I like.
Right. These are the ones that are integrated. I mean, you can write something over on a iPad across the room, and then it shows up on the board
Oh,
for doing
yeah,
presentations.
sure.
That's pretty cool. So everybody, obviously your audience in front of you sees it, and then everybody else in the video world sees it too. So that's pretty exciting. So what I actually want to talk about today, Jaden, is a little bit more about our licensing agreement. We just had a meeting with somebody. It ended up not being a good fit. They're running perfect, right? I mean, I think they have all the right ideas. I don't know if they really need our help any further.
Well, as somebody that's already been in this business and industry for quite a while, I don't recall exactly how long, but I was getting the sense of over 10 years probably.
Yeah, correct. And again, this is you guys, everybody, we're going to talk a little bit about the home guys licensing. We're trying to make sure it's a good fit for both parties. So remember that when you're trying to find, either you're trying to find a franchise, it needs to fit both sides, right? Because we want to make sure we can work with them. And I guarantee they want to make sure they can work with us.
Yeah, and I think we've learned from a lot of conversations that a good fit is probably somebody that has some experience in real estate, in the real estate industry, and preferably in the real estate investing industry, like some level, like has bought a rental or has done a flip or something, or has been involved at some level like project management or something, or worked in the industry. Um, Somebody that's had no experience in real estate whatsoever would be tough to come in and start doing this right away. So that would be, there probably are other franchises that would sell you a real estate franchise with no experience. But I don't think that's something that we can do right now as we're kind of scaling up.
Do we
So
want to though? I mean, I don't think that's not even part of our
I think maybe
so-called.
eventually we could do something like that, but it's just not where our business model, it's a lot to take on with no experience. So we've kind of figured that out. You know, they have to have some experience, but we've also found out from this last conversation, other conversations, that if somebody's already in the industry for 10 or 20 years, like there's things that we can do to help. We can provide coaching and different resources, but probably like a full-on license agreement may not make a ton of sense unless there's some reason to create a new brand in the marketplace. Maybe they'll a split test against their brand or something. That could make sense. But in this case, this gentleman already had lots of systems and SOPs and processes and a team, and a lot of the stuff that we can help get in place, he already had in place.
So we always try to monetize any kind of sales lead, and I was trying to figure out how to monetize this with this client. Is honestly, we could help them in another way, right? It could just be a quick coaching. You know, it could be 5K. Hey, you get I don't know how many hours, whatever it is, and then it's over. You know, I wonder if we could offer something like that. And it's like very, it's just of a coaching. Again, I'm trying to monetize, you know, anything. It's the same mindset I have as when we have a house that we want to buy, right? We're trying to purchase it. You got to have all these different exit strategies in mind, and that's where, or you want to monetize every one of them. Hey, I can't buy it for cash. Well, let me see if I can list it. Let me see if I can come up with sub two. Maybe I can do contract for deed. There's other many ways of, you know, trying to still grab some money, and maybe that's not what we want to do, but it's just the way my brain goes at the end of the day. How can we still help this guy, because he obviously still needs help? Would you agree with
Yeah,
that?
and we put it in a few directions. I think we did provide some good resources for him. So,
Well, cool. So let's talk a little bit about home guys. And Jaden, what do you get when you come into your community?
what is home gas licensing providing you? Why would you be interested in it?
Yeah,
It's,
right.
I mean, I think we just say it's kind of a business in a box, but it's not like a franchise where you're really locked down as to how do you have to do everything. Basically, our requirement is don't tarnish the brand name, don't tarnish the brand. And we give you the systems and tools to use to get up and going and running. And if you're in real estate or real estate investing, this is can be an add-on to your existing business. You know, how far along in things you are. Because if you're running a brokerage but you've not done a lot of real estate investing or just little stuff here and there, then this could be added onto your brokerage. It would be a good business to add on to that. So it's basically a wholesaling and flipping operation is essentially the core of the business. And we provide all the systems, SOPs, forms, processes, training, sales training, marketing, branding,
What are some of your
clothing,
big
business orders.
items that you get out of it where it's going to be the game changer of like why you would go with us versus just winging it yourself? Like what,
Yeah, I think, I
um,
mean, I honestly, it's, we've spent 8 years figuring all this stuff out. It's been a lot of hours of trial and error and learning it, and honestly, spending millions of dollars to figure it out. So you can start on day one and have, 8 years of all this figured out for you and start making money real quick. If you have to go learn it on your own, it's going to take a lot longer and you're going to probably lose money for a while. I mean, almost certainly you would. We did. So you have to spend a lot of money up front to learn things. And
would you say we did it a little different in the aspect of we probably should have had a coach right out of the gates? We probably should have had
well,
something to follow, but I thought it was
maybe.
actually good because you and I figure stuff out a lot different than other people.
The thing is, I looked into franchising that was available at the time, and it was pretty much the Ugly Houses company, and I got close to pulling the trigger on that, but it was too restrictive. It was way too restrictive. They just really lock you down as to what you can do, how you can do it, etc. And I was already in the business. I didn't need them to add a lot of more restraints to me.
Right.
So it didn't, that wasn't going to work. And then I looked into some coaching and stuff. And at the time, at least, and probably still today, a lot of the coaches in wholesaling are teaching really unethical wholesaling practices where you essentially are lying to people. Like the core of your business is lying to people. And then you're selling a contract based on that. And I wasn't going to do that. So I got, went through all that. I'm like, well, I can't really hire these coaches because I don't believe in that. And I don't want to do this franchise. So I guess I'm going to have to figure it out myself. So that's kind of where we ended up, is figuring it out ourselves. But I did talk to a local coach that I almost hired. He actually, I think, had a more ethical way of doing it. Yeah, it kind of a personality fit. It wasn't a great personality fit, I don't think, between us. So I think we got into a mastermind pretty early on, about a year in, and that helped. And then we got some kind of like informal coaching through that.
Yeah, I remember sitting down that first mastermind group that we went to, and we paid for like the VIP seating so we could get up even closer. And good thing you know what KPI stood for, because at that
I
time I
didn't
have
know. I don't
no.
think I knew that when we went to that group. I don't think I
Oh,
knew that.
really?
I don't think so.
That's awesome that you're admitting that.
I don't think I
Um,
had ever heard that term before. But that group was really big on KPIs, and a lot of them are because they're important.
right.
Key
Well, now
performance
we know what
indicators if
it
you
is,
don't know.
right? We
Yeah,
use
of
them every
course.
single day. We use them. I mean,
How you run your business.
you guys
Yeah.
know your numbers. Just you might as well quit now if you don't plan on doing your numbers, because I'm just telling you, you're gonna go under. Do just it's something super
You got to
super
be.
easy.
You got to have really good books and really good dashboards for KPIs to make sure that you're on the right track.
Right. And just remember, and I keep saying this, numbers can be manipulated how you want to see them just by how you display. So anybody can make anything look, with the numbers. But what I'm trying to say is know what the numbers mean, right? Don't just throw numbers down because you think know what's behind the numbers. And basically, I'll give you an example. Our people were taking down like how many leads we were coming in, but that's all they knew. Why are we keeping track of how many leads are coming in every day or every week? Well, now you can tell if something goes wrong with the phones, right?
Yeah.
If all of a sudden if you normally get 40 leads a week and you only got 10, that's telling you something's wrong. Something is wrong with the system. If you
Yeah.
didn't
Things that
have
would seem
KP,
really obvious to us aren't obvious to necessarily the people that are answering the phones. You
yes,
know, to us, we're like, well, geez, the leads dropped off by 80%. That would indicate maybe there's a problem with the phone system or the website or the marketing or something. Like we should probably like that's an issue worth like figuring out. And but people in individual jobs don't have the big picture to really understand that.
and so what we try to do at our company is we try to let everybody understand why we're asking for these numbers, because now they understand. Oh, because people that work for us, they might not get the understanding of the KPIs, but if you tell them the meaning behind it, now they're going to start watching and they're going to care. A lot of times, it's keeping your employees informed. This is not any secret sauce stuff here, guys. This is, you can share things with your team. Now, there's some things maybe I wouldn't share, but that's more of the numbers behind the scene.
Yeah, the thing if you don't share the things with your team, then they don't know what's going on, and then when there's problems that happen, they don't even know there's a problem that's happening.
Right.
So you gotta
So
definitely make sure everybody's up to speed. You're getting a CRM system that it took us, 8 years to come to. So you're not starting off with the wrong system because that's kind of the lifeblood of your business.
right.
You're getting the right website, the right digital marketing for online. You're getting SEO presence with 8 years of Google presence that you're going to inherit. So you're not starting from scratch on Google,
Hey, Jaden,
which
on
means
that
Google
note,
will actually find your website.
thank you. I wanted you to jump in on that really quick
So
because
when
I
you start
wanted
from
to let people
scratch, you're behind
understand.
everybody else, right? So it takes a
Right.
lot of work to move up the and time, a lot of time and work and money. We've spent millions of dollars on that as well. So yeah, I mean, you're getting the benefit of a lot of years and dollars spent to figure this stuff out and get it done right. So you're not having to make the mistakes and guess and test over and over and over again.
Right. You guys, we have SOPs on like where to park your car when you're approaching a house, where to stand after you ring the doorbell. And I'll just give it to you. You guys, you always want to step back. You always want to give that person who's answering the door, it's their house. Look, they're empowered over you. They're kind of looking down. It's a comfort feeling. I'm a big dude. And then if all of a sudden I step back and let that person, when they answer the door, little old lady, it makes them feel good. That's little stuff like that can make and break your business.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got sales training on how to properly run a sales call, which is really important to converting those to deals.
Right.
We've got all the forms, the purchase processing forms, the purchase agreements. and everything else you need related to actually processing a transaction. We've got lenders, financing available. We've got the wholesaling operations for dispositioning properties. It's everything you would need to get started. But we're not going to lock you in and say you have to do it these ways. Like, this is how we found success after many years of many trial and error. But if you like doing things a little differently and you find success with it, go for it. Just don't do anything that's unethical or illegal or that would tarnish the brand name.
And then the whole goal behind that, what you just said, is you find another better way of doing it is to share it with the other home guys, licensees, right?
Right.
That would be the ultimate goal, right? Hey, we know
Yeah.
this works 85% of the time. You guys should try this. And again,
Yeah.
that's what we're doing too. We're as a company, we're always in trying to innovate new
We're always
ideas.
trying, every week we're trying something new. So this week, the latest was we brought on those two full-time staff members in Mexico, one in dispositions and one in acquisitions. And that's a new thing that we're trying out. It's going really well. And that's the kind of thing where, we'll do that for a few months and go, okay, we've vetted this. This is good. This is where you get these people from. This is the kind of questions and interview process you have to go through. This is how you have to set up the job, their pay, how you reward them, how you manage them, what
Yep.
kind of jobs they'd be good at doing. So that's, we're just figuring all this stuff out because we don't have anybody else to tell us how to do this stuff.
We physically work in the business day to day. Okay. Jade and I are at the top now. We're not in the day to day full operations of what's going on, but Jade and I are the ones that set all of this up in the very beginning. And we're continuing doing it. So there's a lot of people out there that are coaching and not doing. They're part of a franchise, but they're still, I mean, I guess that's coaching, but they're still not doing it. We are real time in the business every single day. In fact, we're available to the Knoxville guys when all of a sudden they're on a site and something's goofy, right? They're like, guys, they want to sign now, or what should I do on this scenario? And they text me really quick, and if I can't talk to them, I'll try to send them to somebody else. But you're going to have real time questions that are going to be answered. And so we give you access to our dispositions. We give you access to our sales manager. Now, guys, we can't be calling them they can't be doing your homework, right? But they're to help you out. Our office manager, Jen, who's also my wife, she's been basically running everything that we've been doing lately from behind the scenes. She's kicking butt at it. So you have access to all of these people at any given time to help you solve issues, right? I mean, we've seen a lot over 1,000 homes. I will tell you, this is the first time, Jaden. I don't know if you heard this one yet, but it was the first time. I've never heard this. The lady at closing goes, "So when do I have to be actually out of the house?" And Matt goes, "Today." She's like, "No, really." I'm like,
Whoa.
"Today." Oh, well, everybody knows you get 30 days to move out of your house once you sell it. I'm like,
Wow.
what planet have you been living on?
Everybody knows that apparently.
So again, that just shows you, Jaden, we have not heard everything yet.
No, there's always something new. In the business, you can't get bored of it because it's always something new. It's always
Yeah.
something.
So Matt and Maddie actually had to take care of that. Matt's like, "What do I do?" I go, "Matt, you're 29 years old, buddy. You got this. It's time to put the big boy pants on." And so he went out there and he explained to her, and he goes, "It was easier than I thought, James, but gosh, that was a very uncomfortable conversation." I go, "It is what it is, buddy. That's just part of, being all grown up." And I say that, guys, is Matt came to us as an intern. So he's been with us since been 22 years old. And it's pretty cool to see him grow up and be successful. You guys, he's doing very well. Ladies, he's doing very well. He might make over 6. Trying to hook you up, Matt. Basically, I want everybody to know whatever we have, it's ours, it's yours too. That's how we really were trying to build this up.
When we first did this 7, 8 years ago, I did all the technology setup, and it's been a while since I've forgotten how much work it is and how complex it all is. So going through with the Knoxville guys, going through it all again, I got a much better appreciation. And I'm a technical guy. I'm an engineer, computer engineer. Even for me, it's complicated and it's a lot of work. So I could imagine somebody non-technical going through and setting all this stuff up with the phone systems and the email systems and the Dispo email systems and the websites and the landing pages and the ads and the Facebook ads and all this. It's a lot. It's a lot to do,
Right.
especially if you have no experience doing it. Some of it's difficult to figure out.
I think it actually came to us about a couple months ago. We're not afraid to throw something at us. We'll figure it out. We have proven that, have we not? I mean, that,
But
hey,
we
we're,
do. I mean,
it's
why we're
exactly
still in
right.
business.
Right. It's, every situation is unique. Every situation is different. And it's pretty neat to have the confidence that we're going to solve this problem.
Yeah, we're always testing out new strategies as well because you always hear about, especially on YouTube and stuff, you'll hear about these new strategies people are using, and it's the buzzword like novation or subject to or whatever else. And if it's something we haven't done before, we'll try, test it out and see because you never hear about all the problems with these things. All the hair on them is what makes them hard or difficult or impossible or not desirable to do.
Mhm.
And until you do it, one or two yourself, you're like, oh yeah, well, I can see what they're saying, but this isn't good for these reasons. And
Right.
like Novation and Subject to both, they get a lot of buzz on the YouTube and stuff, but they both have massive limitations.
I actually had a telemarketer call me and it said it was coming from Arizona, but they do nationwide. Yeah, I'm just looking, I sent you an email. I'm trying to get that property for sub two. I'm like, first of all, how do you know it was even qualified for sub two? And I just kind of kept trying to, I knew he was a VA.
Yeah,
I
he was just told
literally
what
knew
to say.
he was just told what to say and
Yeah,
trying to figure it out. I was just trying to dig into it a little bit more. I have a house on the market on the MLS, and one of the tactics is to call agents up to find out, hey, if your property's been on there for more than 30 days, they'll physically offer them basically owner financing or some off the wall kind of deal. Now, does it work sometimes? Yes. Look in the sub two if you don't know what sub two is. It's basically taking over somebody's mortgage
well,
and
it's
getting the deed of
interesting
the
that
house.
people even use those terms. A lot of people don't even know what that is. So you call somebody up and say, hey, can we do the sub two? Like they might not even know what you're talking
You know
about.
what? I don't
Good
even
chance they
think
won't.
agents even know what the heck that
They
is.
don't. The
You
agents
know,
don't frequently know what that is.
right? So I was just surprised that I got a phone call, and sometimes I have to answer it just to see who's doing it, trying to figure out where's it coming from, right? Maybe find out if they're having a success, because if other people are having a success doing cold calling, maybe more people can have success. I will tell you, the investor fuel meeting that we had, a lot of people are not doing cold calling anymore. I mean, that's
That's
pretty
been
much,
declining for years.
you know,
We were doing it a few years ago and didn't have much success with it really. And again, it's one of those things where everybody talks about it, and then you do it, and you find out all the reasons why it really doesn't work that well. There's a lot of rules and laws about it too that you have to be very cautious with. So we
right.
we we run a legitimate business, and I always think of everything like, okay, would the tire shop down the street be doing this kind of stuff? Would they do this stuff? Would Joe the plumber down the street do this kind of stuff? If the answer is no, then probably you shouldn't be doing it. Why is nobody else doing these things except for real estate investing people? So like the mass texting and the mass cold calling, that is actually being cracked down on heavily now, and people are being sued and stuff over it.
Yeah, we're trying to reach you about your car insurance.
Yeah, your
Come to
car
think of
warranty,
that,
your car warranty,
you're
and your
oh,
15-year-old car.
you're right. I was just gonna say, I have not had any of those. Now that I think about it, it's been a good 6 months. So I've had
They've
not
been
had one
cracking
of the.
down. I haven't been getting phone calls either. They must be working.
Yeah, totally must be working. So I wanted to explain one of the other things that we're always trying to improve on again, and then we want to bring it to other licensees is self storage. We're learning that right now, and how we're going to implement it into our business, and that's another thing that we can share with other people.
Yeah,
Once we get to that point, I think we're better as one. What's that African proverbs say?
yeah. Go fast alone, go far together.
And that's our philosophy on the getting everybody. If we're all roughly on the same page and we can help each other out that way and still be the home guy's way, let's do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I was just thinking the other thing, when we started this, like I was in a position where I had been doing real estate investing for over 10 years at the point, and I was able to just, not make money for quite a while, like over a year. And so I had the luxury of being able to test things and that maybe weren't going to work out, because we didn't know. I didn't know this thing was going to work and we would make money. I really didn't know. And we actually didn't make money for probably the first 6 months, any bottom line money at least.
Hey Jaden, that's
So
your faith though. That's why you did it.
yeah, but I think about people that are, maybe in a job or they've got an income source, right? And they're looking to do this. They probably want to have some level of certainty. They're, following a proven system that generates income, you know.
Right.
because just going and trying to figure this out on your own, like the failure rate on real estate investing is extremely high. As we've seen, how many people have come into our industry and in our state, and I mean, not even 12 months later, they're not around. It's hundreds of companies and people. So, and a lot of it's probably people that have been coached by other people or following some system or some education program or whatever that's outdated or doesn't work in this location, or there's lots of different reasons. But there's only a handful of companies in our market that are actually successful. Less than 10, I would say. Less than 10 and probably and definitely less than 5 that are really successful. And if you look at the hundreds that have come and gone over the years, that's not very many that have lasted.
I think everybody thought they could do it because some of the bigger guys were saying, with no money, you can buy houses.
Well, you go to a seminar on subject to or whatever on a weekend at a civic center or something, and then go start your business and get out there and start doing it. And some people succeed eventually at doing that, but that's a lot of hustle and grind, and there's a whole lot of stuff they don't tell you. Those things as to why maybe it doesn't work that well. You're just getting a little piece of the pie, piece of the
I
puzzle.
think you still have to have the big push. I mean, you have to have a drive, right?
That people are teaching is all hustle. It's just hustle.
It's hustle, but you got to think. You still have to think smart, right? That's where I think where you have taught me on it is you have the hustle and the smarts at the same time. Where you knew I had the hustle, and again, not to say that I wasn't smart. I just didn't know anything about the real estate at that time.
Yeah.
And and being able to jump in there and go, hey, James, just do like this, this, and this. I'm like, okay. And I'd come back with a signed contract.
Being tactical versus being strategic. If you look at the Russia-Ukraine war, Russia appears to be very terrible at tactical anything. And tactical in our industry would be like, that's hustling, making sales calls, like just going out and like using your energy to make things happen.
Right.
Strategy is more like big picture, like what's the big picture energy look like? What's the resources, the people, the money, the systems, the processes, and how does that move this big machine forward? And Russia, the reason they're still in this war and they haven't been beaten is because they have decent strategy. They have a lot of resources. They don't seem to care about tactics. They just, have a mass of resources. And that's how I think of everything is like, I don't want to be a one-off sniper in this industry. I want to be a business that's a machine that can, really move forward and grow. A one-off sniper, tactical person, like special forces would be the analogy for military. Like they're solo operators. They work alone. They're very effective, but they can only do as much as they can do personally.
Right.
They're never going to get beyond that. So, and from day one, I've been doing that stuff myself for years by myself. And I just got to a point where I'm like, this isn't fun working by myself. It's pretty lonely, So it's more fun to work in a team of people. You can do a lot more. And then you can focus on the stuff you're good at.
Especially with your good buddy, James, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's been good. It's been nice to work with people I enjoy spending time with.
Right. I think we were talking about this before. I think both of us, this is our longest job we've ever had.
Oh, yeah. For me, it's by far. Unless you count real estate investing. I've been doing that for
but that's something
years.
No, right.
This specific job in real estate investing,
that's a one-man wolf pack.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
not really a job. Right? The real estate investing stuff I was doing before wasn't a job. It was more on the side investing kind of stuff.
Right. Hey, do you have time? You're on your computer, right?
Yep.
Do we want to show them another thing that we've came up with? Are you able to? Can I share the screen? I want to show you the app that we have where we can put ARV and kind of explain a little bit. I believe
I can do share screen. I'm pretty sure I can do that.
So what we've done, everybody, I'll give you a quick rundown. We put an app together almost day one when we started, and we just didn't want to pull numbers out of the air. We wanted to be able to give real-time numbers right then and there. And so if you put in the ARV and then you put in the repair spot, you hit a button and then it populates everything you need to see, this including the price that you can offer the seller. And then it gives you a breakdown. So it gives a breakdown on return on investments. What we're trying to avoid, everybody, is when you're watching HGTV flipping show, they go, hey, I bought the place for 300. I put 100 into it. And now I selling it for 500. I made 100 or made 200, whatever it comes out to be. In reality, the reality shows don't show you all the stuff, all the people that have their hands in your pocket, all the different taxes that come out, all the different people you still have to pay at the end of the day. So we wanted to give this app so they have an understanding of where everything is going, all the fees from buying the place to selling the place. There's fees. So he's going through the desktop version side of it.
Yeah, this pulls up on a mobile phone. It looks kind of like an app, but basically, you just, our market, like 350 is a pretty common, kind of more entry level type house. For us, like 50,000 repairs is pretty, maybe it's 60 now with inflation, be a pretty common repairs estimate. And then it just auto calculates your realtor closing costs, holding costs, your ROI profit that you need to make this, worth your time to do and worth the investment of the risk you're taking on. Contingency for repairs, and that's a percentage of repairs. So if you make the repairs higher, this number will go up. And then risk margin, we have found that houses that are built before 1950, we tend to have much higher variability on how much they cost and how much we can sell them for. So the risk on those houses is much higher than a post 1950s built house. So pre 1950s in Minneapolis is going to be a more urban area, older house before a lot of the standard wood frame construction was being done. So houses were built differently.
Line
There's just
foundations.
that foundation. There's just a lot of big problems that can come up. So if it's pre 1950, we put this at 8% risk margin. And if it's just a normal, like, post 1950, or if it's a townhouse, like a newer townhouse, we put this possibly down at 1%. Because like townhouses, condos in the suburbs that are newer, we know what they're going to sell for. We know how
They
fast
go
they're going to
fast,
sell.
yeah.
We know there's only so much they can take in repairs. So it's not really surprises. So you can move that down. So that's, when you're talking to a seller and you're walking through the property, frequently, once you get good at this, you can come up with a repair estimate as you're walking through. We can come up with it on the fly, just looking at the size of the house and the age, basically, and the condition, and be pretty close. So we put that number in there, and then auto calculate this, and then usually just leave this at 3% unless it's some special situation, and we could tell them, hey, we're looking at about 183 in this house. That's roughly where we're at. We can go back and do some more numbers on comps and
Right.
tighten up the repair budgets and stuff. But this is a good starting point for discussion to see, are we in the ballpark or not? Because if we're not, then you got to start talking about, okay, are we going to
Another
wholesale
avenue to
this
go
for
down.
you,
She
or
can
are we
sit
going to
here.
do a listing for you? How do we get you more money?
Right.
If that's not in the ballpark of workable. So then you're looking at seller financing possibly would be a much higher price. Subject to
Hey,
if they can do that.
no, sorry, I actually interrupted you, but on the repairs, do we still have it where you can actually break it down and put windows and stuff in here? Because on my app, I do.
We have that on the app. This website one doesn't have that, but our app does.
But no, this one does on the.
Oh, that's yeah. Actually, I have two web apps. You're right. Let me find that one. This is we have a web version of our actual phone app.
Dude, you just
That's
brought
what
up the old one. That's because you have
Yeah,
the
that's what
old.
James was talking about. This is the old web app. Give me a minute. It's going
Okay.
to take me a minute to find that.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Jen and I are going on June 15th, the country station. They're doing this down at the Myth. It's in Maplewood. Anyways, it's a venue, and the radio station gives out free tickets to. No one knows who's the performer. So what you do is you just show up. I'm assuming it's country because it's coming from the country station, and so you show up at the venue, and whoever comes out comes out.
Oh, cool.
So they're free tickets, but it's you know how the radio stations put on. You have to win tickets on the radio, and so because we advertise on there, they called us up and said, "How many tickets do you want?" So we get to go in the VIP room and kind of hang out and act like we're VIPs.
Bad deal.
I don't know what that I
Um,
don't know what that means, but we're gonna act like VIPs. So a quick tip: people who have TV and they're doing a lot of TV, make sure you talk to your reps. Your reps should be giving you free tickets to different events all the time, guys. Especially when you're spending a lot, guys. If you're only spending $2,000-3,000 a month, don't expect your reps to be giving you free tickets. Okay, we spend a lot, so it's pretty cool. We're able to go to these events. So just a little heads up. All right, Jaden, erase all that and start fresh, would you? And show them how, for like a
oh,
new
sure.
agent, this is what they would use.
Got it. So, yeah, if you're brand new and don't know anything, so you go, hey, this is a really old house. Pre 1910, we had more money. I'm gonna say it's a 1950 plus house, so we're not going to add any more money. Doors.
This is interior doors, exterior doors, or patio doors. You guys can put your own price in here, and then your sales team can go out, and if they say, hey, it needs a new screen door, patio door, they can put all of this information in here. So what's this? This is Windows, guys. Windows, it's going to be different.
And it goes by, it shows you the
Florida.
different window sizes too. So large window, medium, basement, egress.
Again, you might have to
Um,
do some homework, or you can actually take what's set up in here. But I will tell you, this is set up for the upper Midwest. In upper Midwest, it gets a lot colder than the lower, southern eastern states.
yeah, and if you're in markets that are really expensive, like California and Seattle, you're gonna have to adjust these numbers for sure because these won't be accurate. Like windows cost more in Seattle just because everything's more expensive in Seattle.
Right, right. We have a
Foundation
lot of
repairs.
stuff on
So
here, guys. But there, you have to also remember at any given time, you might have to. I think there's another spot. Oh, there it is, miscellaneous. Yeah, I would, if you can, throw something in there for maybe the cleanup or something, because I don't think we actually have cleanup on there, do we?
I think it might be an interior. I don't know. I'm not seeing it.
So basically, this is for somebody who doesn't know what's going on. This is so how our team would typically do it is they would go out, they would take pictures. They use this to get an expression off the face of the client. Maybe like, holy crap, that's way too low, or maybe that's just right. And by that, sometimes they might even change it into a listing because, again, let's face it, guys, we all know when we go to a house and they're not everybody's going to sell us their perfectly fine house for pennies on the dollar, right? But try to help them out. Sell their house on the MLS for them.
Yeah, 100%.
Again, what I always tell, what I always preach, do the right thing, the money will follow. Do not, I repeat, do not be shady. You're in this business to be in it for a long time, not for a short period of time.
Right. Yeah, for some reason, this industry seems to be known for that. I'm not sure why. So yeah, if you go back to the main screen after you put those repairs in the repair screen, then you hit calculate, and it auto calculates all these commissions, closing costs, holding costs, same stuff I talked about already. Gives you a cash offer at the bottom. We don't use this much anymore, but we have an export to PDF that actually creates like a PDF quote with our logo and letterhead and stuff on it, which makes it kind of look really professional. We don't really use it as much anymore, but at one point we did use that more.
Yeah, I think it's because a lot of people are looking, they're not necessarily wanting a piece of paper. Everything's
Well, that, and
paperless.
usually we're showing this to people while we're at their house, and we're going back and then going and doing some more research back
Right.
at the office and providing a more formal pricing and stuff then.
So basically, I want to let everybody know if you're interested in if this intrigues you, you want to set up something where you have a little bit more of a one-on-one with Jaden and myself. Again, one of the things you get our proven TV commercial too. It is a cartoon commercial, but we've been playing it for the last 8 years. And what's really cool about that is we know it works because at the time we had Wisconsin home guys and they were playing it all the time. It happened to be Jaden's twin brother was running it. Well, his brother decided to go to another state, and the guy that was running it, he decided that he wanted to do something different. So, anyways, Milwaukee's back open again, guys. I do believe so, isn't it? I mean, Eric's
Yeah,
not
it's
going to take
open.
it over.
Yep.
It's been fun, and it's really cool, guys, to see it work and get super excited for everything that I've been telling the Knoxville guys. Jaden's telling them stuff on the financial side, and it's coming true. I'm telling them stuff on the deal side, and they're like, "Wow, we have a real business here. This is pretty awesome. Thanks, guys." So they're very thankful, and they're growing their business
Well, it's really cool to see it work in other
fast.
locations too. I mean, like I said, we've done Milwaukee and had run our brand for a while with another business they were doing. And then Knoxville is really a true like ground up from scratch. And it's 8 years later from when we launched ours, and it still works just as well, if not better, than it worked 8 years ago.
And I'm going to start telling people this now, but when the Knoxville guys came on, they didn't really know anything about the business, and have 8 deals since February, and they're killing it. They're at the point now where they're putting even more systems together. They literally remind me of us when we started. They had capital, but they didn't know where to put it. They didn't know how to understand everything. So it's kind of cool. It's like we get a second start or a second chance to start this business and make money right from the very, very beginning versus
Yeah,
having
we're
to
telling
wait.
them all that this is the stuff you should do the right way to start with instead of guessing and getting it wrong for a long time.
Yeah, guys, I want to let everybody know we probably got it wrong first before we got it right. That's why when we say, no, 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 don't do that, do it like this, there's a
We've
reason
tried
we're
that.
saying that.
Tried that. We've
Right?
tried everything.
Yeah, there's definitely a reason why when we tell people what to do and what they can not do. So feel free to reach out to us, and we can get you more information. So
There
how
is
long we
a,
been
we did
on?
put a landing page up on the website, homeguys.com/licensing. And it's also on the top of the homeguys.com page where you can click on licensing. Real brief, like paragraph and a button to click to learn more, basically applying some information about yourself into us so we can start, having a conversation about whether it makes sense or not for you.
Right. Perfect. You guys were always going to talk about the home guys licensing side. I wanted to talk a little bit about that. I know we didn't jump into our week, but I will be honest with you. I don't even know what our week looked like because I was in. Okay, I forgot to tell everybody. I tweaked my back last Thursday, so I've been hurting pretty bad, and I tweaked it playing pickleball. Damn, that sport's gonna kill me. You would think that would be hockey that hurt me. I never got hurt in hockey. I've been hurt in pickleball like 3 times.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It's did I mention it's full contact pickleball?
Yeah, no pads.
No pads. So I didn't want to. I wanted to talk a little bit about our week, but again, I was gone in Dallas.
This last week, I mean, nothing really in particular. It's spring, so every week we're getting a little busier, which is nice to see. And we brought those two Mexican staff members on from Mexico just recently, and they're already starting to really produce and perform really well. So,
how do you feel with this new switch off with what we're doing? I mean, I really think I think it's working pretty well. The new system, the new layout,
the company structure, you mean?
There you go. That's the
Yeah,
thank you.
it's yeah. We basically just for a little background, we went to more of a less vertical structure, I guess we would call it. So a lot of companies, some companies are like it's kind of hierarchical, like you've got your manager, the director, the VP, the CEO. And then some companies are horizontal, where there's not a lot of middle management. We were kind of a little hierarchical, where we had some executive management in place, and we've moved back to more of a horizontal, where it's the team is more empowered, and we've kind of just taken those responsibilities from the executive management, pushed them back down to the team, and it's working out great. People seem to really appreciate having the empowerment and the responsibility.
So I didn't tell you, but I got on a conversation with Don Costa after we talked earlier this morning. He's talking about mastermind groups and how he can try to set something up that's a lot higher, and he wanted my input. And I told him a little bit about our COO and how everything worked, and he goes, "The structure you have now," and he was telling me that it's the same structure that he's had for his last 5 years, and he goes, he loves it because everything moves, left and right a little bit versus trying to go up the ladder. You empower your
Mm.
people, you get more out of them. Plus, you're not micromanaging them either.
Yeah, everybody knows a lot more and is a lot more empowered to make decisions. And a lot of times the people, in the lower levels have more information to make better decisions.
Correct. It's like that undercover boss, right? Where you got these like high end executives that go undercover, and then they start realizing, well, if you just ask the people what's going on, I guarantee it's going to be a better structure. You ask higher management, that's the way they want it to be ran, but they're not asking the
Right.
people. And then what do they do at the end of the show? They always give, all right, well, we want to recognize you, and we're going to have this new training video, and you're going to be responsible for training everybody in the whole company.
Yeah.
So it does work. It does, it's good to get people in there and change your business up a little bit. If you're looking to want to talk more, we're going to have a website and a form that you guys can go to, fill it out, and request for us to do a quick Zoom call and kind of see where you're at. And maybe it's a good fit. Maybe it's not a good fit. I appreciate you. You have a great weekend. Give me a call. Anybody else have any other questions? Please leave them in the comments. Everybody have a great
Okay.
week.
All right. Thanks.